The Beastclaw Greathammer is worth all the 7 Deathroot it takes to acquire. The spread out scaling, split damage, and somber stone nature of this weapon make it look rather mediocre at first. But the good old Greathammer moveset and a top-notch Ash of War more than make up for these lackluster attributes. I have never seen this weapon used once in hundreds of co-op sessions, and there's a few good reasons why. First is of course the Deathroot, as only so many people care enough to fight the Tibia Mariner 4 times in a single playthrough. Next is the aforementioned scaling. This weapon scales with Dex, Strength, and Faith. And yes, that Faith scaling means we have Holy Damage too. Perhaps in the Shadow of the Erdtree DLC, we'll find more uses for Holy Damage, but as of now, Holy Damage is not optimal for late game Elden Ring. Just focus on pumping up that physical damage and you'll be good to go. If you're limiting your level like I am to RL 150, your base weapon attack rating won't be the best in class. That's why we'll have to fall back on Poise Breaks and the Ash of War. Being a great hammer, the Beastclaw Greathammer will poise break like crazy, especially with the use of that charged heavy attack. Now, for the highlight of this build. Regal Beastclaw is an insanely powerful Ash of War. This move messes up enemies harder than Fireball messed up my gastrointestinal system freshman year. Having a high damage ranged option in a melee focused build will make your playthrough a lot easier. The Ash has 2 parts to it, the first being the slam and the second being the 5 projectiles it sends out. The hammer slam itself is much weaker than the projectiles. However, the slam lowers our hitbox enough so that we can duck under certain boss attacks. In this Black Knife fight, I did about 300 damage with the slam, but well over 1000 damage with a projectile hit. From all my testing, the projectiles scale with weapon AR, the Faith stat included. Also, the damage is the same whether you hit with one or all of the projectiles. Like here, where I hit all 3 invisible mages simultaneously for full damage. In this build, I also used some of the bestial incantations, but I didn't use them enough to comment on them fully, since Regal Beastclaw put out so much more damage than those incantations on this build. However, from my unnotable experience, Bestial Sling was very fast and useful in NPC fights, and Stone of Garank was a solid ranged option. In my physique, I had the Stone Barbed Crack tier and the Green Burst Crystal tier for better poise breaks and stamina recovery. 2 essential talismans for this great hammer build are the Axe Talisman for your heavy attacks, and the Shard of Alexander to power up Regal Beastclaw. For my stats, I had 60 Vigor, 24 Mind, 35 Endurance to light roll with my armor, 60 Strength, 15 Dexterity, and 18 Faith. The Beastclaw Greathammer isn't a contender for best weapon in the game by any stretch of the imagination, but it has a fun and effective Ash of War that certainly deserves more attention. And as an addendum to this video, I've decided to open up a Discord server. Since more and more people have been watching the videos recently, I figured it would be a great place to discuss Elden Ring, or perhaps to join up and co-op with more people. Because if you're anything like me, you may also be the only one in your friend group that is interested in Elden Ring.